You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is your ride to work, and today we're talking about something many people have mastered without even realizing it. You know what that is? Avoidance. Say that word, avoidance. Because watch, this generation has become incredibly skilled, at distracting itself from pain. You know, we're talking about pain-free this week, pain-free, and this is what we do. We'll scroll instead of processing. That's what we do. We get the phones or the tablets, the iPads. We just scroll instead of really processing. We stay busy instead of healing. We laugh instead of grieving. We work instead of recovering. Anything to avoid just sitting alone with what really hurts us. And see, the dangerous part of that is temporary relief, should I say, can feel so effective that you mistake it for healing. Painkillers don't cure problems. They only reduce symptoms temporarily, and that's what we're talking about this morning. Painkillers. Painkillers don't cure problems. Please hear me when I say it. Again, thank you for joining us. This is Pain-Free Week. The first thing I want to tell you about painkillers is distractions are emotional painkillers. Distractions. We'll start right there. See, because not every habit is about enjoyment. Every habit that you have, you know, we have habits and we do it because of the sheer enjoyment of it, or hobbies or whatever, for the sheer enjoyment of it. But some habits are really survival mechanisms. Some people stay busy because, when it's too quiet, it forces them to think. Some people are what I call like serial relationshipists. And they just date and date and date because loneliness, or when they're by themselves, it exposes deeper wounds. Some people even, they overwork themselves because when they achieve stuff, it distracts them from how empty or unhappy they are. And that's dangerous, should I say, because society rewards many unhealthy coping mechanisms, so to speak. I'll say it like that, coping mechanism. Society rewards that. People applaud your productivity. They don't even realize you're just working to avoid pain. They celebrate your independence. Say it. They don't even realize that your independence became that way because you have a lack of trust. Think about it. I want you to ride with us this morning in this way. You have a lack of trust. That's why you're so independent. People admire how funny you are. You're the life of the party. They don't even realize because laughter became your hiding place. Distractions. It's just like distraction is just like emotional anesthesia. Anesthesia, it numbs you, so to speak. And we dealt with numbness upon yesterday morning's ride. Anesthesia is what it removes feeling like temporarily. That's what it does. But once it wears off, you know what, man? That condition is still there. That pain is right there. It's right there. I know some of you know what I'm talking about. When you be in the hospital and you be pushing that button for that painkiller to come, you be pushing that button and it feels good temporarily, but once it wears off, man, you right back to the condition. You're right back to feeling that pain. And that's the problem with emotional distraction. The moment everything slows down, that pain just rears its ugly head again. It does. It does. That's why a lot of us, if truth be told, we can't handle quiet moments. The silence distracts us. It bothers us. It makes us, it unnerves us, so to speak, because silence removes distractions and exposes unresolved emotions. That's what it does. It removes the distraction. It removes the hectic stuff. It removes the activity. That's what it does. And now you're just faced with just you and whatever it is that got you so messed up. You got to deal with it because unresolved pain demands your attention. It demands your attention until you're healed from it. It demands your attention. So this is what you do. Hear me when I say, stop running from discomfort. Stop running from it. I'll just say it like that. You see, you allow yourself to sit honestly with what hurts. That's what you have to do. And when you do that, healing begins. That's when it begins. Instead of constantly asking, how do I escape this feeling? Just ask yourself, what is this pain trying to reveal? What's going on with it? Because that's when healing starts, when you stop avoiding the conversation your pain is trying to have with you. And I know it's something to say, and that's just, when I just said it or whatever, but that's pretty good. I'm sorry, but that's pretty good. Stop avoiding the conversation your pain is trying to have with you. Your pain wants to talk with you, wants to have an audience with you. And I know you want to dismiss it, you want to avoid it, but you've got to deal with it. Otherwise, that anesthesia, that it's going to wear off after a while. That distraction is not going to be there. You're going to have to create another one, and then create another one, and create another one. You can't continue to live your life that way. Second thing I need you to know is pain ignored becomes pain extended. Hear me when I say, ignored pain does not disappear, people. It doesn't go anywhere. It relocates. That's what it does, if you want to know the truth about it. What I mean by that is what you suppress. When you suppress it emotionally, what happens is it shows up in your behavior. It does. It shows up in your behavior because you didn't deal with that hurt. Now it becomes anger. See how it just relocated itself? You didn't deal with the fact of being betrayed, and you didn't, that was just unresolved. Now you don't trust folk. It becomes trust issues now. Rejection becomes insecurity if you don't deal with it. Pain always will find an outlet. Always. Think about it. You know how when you may have some pain, or let's say some intestinal pain or gas or something like that. You gas, and you have that pain, and it's in you on one side, and then all of a sudden it begins to move or whatever, and you don't feel it on that side anymore, but now it done moved to some pain. Relocates itself. It'll find an outlet somewhere. And what happens if you keep refusing to process it properly? It begins to leak into places that had nothing to do with the original pain at all. Had nothing to do with the original condition, the original wound. Had nothing to do with it, but it'll leak out in those other places and those other spaces that you really thought you had under control. That was good. Avoided pain eventually becomes visible pain. Think about that. That's why some people overreact to small things sometimes. They'll overreact. You're like, man, it's not that serious, bro. It's not that serious. I mean, but they're overreacting because their reaction isn't about the moment. That reaction is accumulated pain finally overflowing, coming out. Many people are exhausted because they're carrying years, years of untreated emotional stuff. Mm. Man, I hope I'm talking to somebody this morning. Pain-free week. You can only suppress pain for so long, man. You can only do it for so long before you gotta have some relief. You start demand. It has your spirit demands relief. Mm. Stop treating wounds or like they'll heal automatically. It doesn't happen like that. Some healing requires, again, here's this word. I gave you this word last week. Intentional work. Honest conversations. They may be hard conversations, but they're honest conversations. Healing requires forgiveness. Not just other people, but yourself. It requires boundaries. Some other things, counseling, prayer. Definitely prayer. Healing, it requires reflections. Just taking a step back, taking a moment. Where am I? Who am I? What space am I in right now to where I'm just avoiding the obvious? Because obviously, watch this, I say that, if I address this thing, it may hurt me at the moment. It may tear me apart at the moment, but I know eventually I'll get better and be better. Because as long as I keep avoiding it, as long as I keep putting it off, as long as I don't want no confrontation with it, it ain't going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. In order for me to be healed, I have to be active about it. It's not, you don't get healed accidentally. You don't get healed accidentally. And I'll say this, you got to confront it, because if you keep refusing to confront it today, you know what? Truth be told, it may control you tomorrow. And that's what you don't want. You don't want your pain controlling you, because now you start making decisions and making choices out of a painful mindset, out of painful emotions. And you usually don't make right or good decisions from that. So listen, here let me give you a hard truth, and I'm done. Because I just touched on it, and so I'll go ahead and close it out with this. Healing requires confrontation. It just does. You got to be honest with yourself. I tell you all the time, you can't heal what you keep hiding. It doesn't work like that. And a lot of you want to be healed, but you want it without being vulnerable, and it just won't work. You gotta put, I'm sorry, but you gotta put yourself out there. You got to. You gotta be able to reflect. You gotta, you can't have it without reflection. You can't be free without being honest. Come on now, let's be for real. You want recovery, but you want to be recovered, but you don't want the responsibility. It requires confrontation. You got to confront all of this stuff. It demands it. You got to admit that hurt me. That hurt me to my core. I never thought I could ever feel that much pain. You got to admit it. You got to confront it. That changed me. That affected me more than I've realized. I don't know, even if you're talking to yourself or talking to whoever, if there was a perpetrator, you got me. Yeah, you got me. Man, you got me. I didn't think it was possible, but yeah, that hurt me. You got to confront it, because denial just delays healing. It does. What stays hidden often stays unhealed. Stop hiding it. Confront it. Tell the truth to yourself. I ain't good. That hurt. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, confrontation is uncomfortable. It is, because what happens is pain, it exposes deeper issues. And sometimes your anger isn't the real issue at all. Sometimes you just don't like the fact that you felt that you were abandoned. You're disappointed in something, or somebody was disappointed in you, or you were or felt you were a disappointment. Sometimes you just scared. Fear. And that's what happens. That's what you need to understand. Because sometimes God allows painful moments to reveal areas that still need healing. Not to shame you, but to restore you. It needs to happen. So stop hiding behind strength. Strong people need healing too. I get it. Been there, done that. Mature people, they cry too. Healthy people seek help too. Please hear me when I say it. One of the strongest things you can do is finally be honest about what hurt you. Have you been honest with yourself about what hurt you? And not only about what hurt you, but to the magnitude that it hurt. How bad it hurt. Stop hiding behind that mask. Painkillers, they may reduce symptoms, but healing removes the source. God don't just want you numb to pain. He wants you restored. That's what he wants. I don't know who this is, but I'm done. But you may be somebody, you constantly take medication for headaches. You know, people have migraines and all of that. Very severe migraines, and it just totally disrupts their day. They can barely function. But you're somebody that this happens to every single day. Think about this. Eventually what will happen, you become dependent on the medicine to make you feel better, to at least numb you from the pain. But what if, and this has happened, I know this is somebody that has happened too, it was not necessarily migraines or headaches, but something else internal. But what if the headaches were actually warning signs of a deeper issue? The migraine medicine, the Aleve, the extra strength Tylenol, or even the prescription stuff that you may get from the doctor, because the migraines are so severe, it reduces the discomfort. It'll do that, right? But it never really addresses the condition. Think about it. Stop treating symptoms while ignoring the source. That's the last thing I want to say to you, and I'm done. Thank you so much for joining us for the ride to work on this pain-free week. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll be right smack dab in the middle of it. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, somebody you like, somebody you love, somebody you might not be that fond of. But let them know we're riding every morning, Monday through Friday. Thank you again. God bless.